one and all. As we know, nowadays we are doing Unit 8, that is D and F block elements. So let's start. As we know, the periodic table consists of 4 blocks: S block, P block, D block and F block. S block mainly consists of light metals and P block consists of non-metals, whereas D block consists of transitional elements or metals. So, the general configuration of D block is n-1 D 1 to 10 and S 1 to 2. It includes of 10 groups, and the properties of D block is that it has poor shielding effect, it has color compounds, it has complex compound, and it has covalent and ionic bond forming compounds. So now let's start the important compounds of D block elements. There are two main important compounds of D block elements, that is, first is potassium dichromate and second is potassium permanganate. So let's differentiate between them. Potassium dichromate is written as K2Cr2O7 and potassium permanganate is written as KMNO4. So the preparation of potassium dichromate can be done by 3 steps. First is conversion of chromate ore into sodium chromate. Second is conversion of sodium chromate into sodium dichromate, and third is conversion of sodium dichromate into K2Cr2O7. Whereas in potassium permanganate we get it by 2 steps, that is from mineral pyrolusite MnO2, and second is from electrochemical oxidation. So the structure of potassium dichromate is tetrahedral and 2 tetrahedral ion. First one is chromate and second one is dichromate. The difference between chromate and dichromate is that chromate consists of 1 chromium ion, whereas dichromate consists of 2 chromiums. The structure of potassium permanganate is, it consists of 1 manganese and 4 oxygen, whereas physical properties of potassium dichromate. First one is, it gives orange red crystal solid with melting point of 669 Kelvin. It is strong oxidizing agent and used as primary standard solution in volumetric analysis in acidic medium. Now let's move on to the physical properties of potassium permanganate. It has deep purple crystal with melting point of 250 degrees Celsius. Color of salt is due to charge transfer in potassium permanganate. Its paramagnetism depends upon temperature. Now, uses of potassium permanganate. It is used in bleaching wool, cotton, silk. It is used for volumetric titration. It is used as important oxidizing agent and used as Baer reagent in lab. Now let's study about potassium dichromate's uses. It is used as oxidizing agent. It is used in chronial chloride test for quantitative analysis. It is used in chromyl tanning of leather. It is used in preparation of chromic acid. So now let's move to the applications of transition metals. First is the two important transition atom, that is iron and steel are the most important industrial constructions material. Tin oxide is used in pigment industries, whereas light sensitive properties of AgBr are used in photographic industries. Steel, titanium nitride, titanium carbide, etc. are used for making artificial joint replacement of bone. Iron catalyst is used in Haber's process for manufacturing of ammonia. This we studied in our last chapter also, that is P block elements. And copper, argon, etc. are used to make coins or ornaments. As we have coins at our homes, so that consists of a small amount of copper or argon. V2O5. is used as a catalyst in manufacture of sulfuric acid. As we know, sulfuric acid is prepared by contact process. Nickel catalyst is used for hydrogenation of fats. So this all we studied.
Good evening, sir. I am Janvi from class 12th, and today I am here to recapitulate about all the topics which you have told to us in today's video. So first of all, in today's video we have discussed about the important compound of T block element, under which we have studied about two components, which is chromium and magnesium. And under it we have learned about potassium dichromate and potassium permanganate, which are very important, as you have told. Under which we have learned about the formula, preparation, structure, properties and uses of potassium dichromate and potassium permanganate. Yes, we have learned about its structure, then about physical properties, its uses. After then we have learned about the application of transitional element, under which we have learned about two application, which is industrial use and manufacturing of materials. After then the last topic under it was reasoning type questions, under which we have learnt about three reasons which relate to it, which is transitional element, alloys formation and variation of oxide states. Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Myself Sanjana. Let us start with today's topic, that is manufacturing of H2SO4. So let's start. Okay, so manufacturing of H2SO4, it is started from a sulfur burner where your sulfuric dioxide is produced. Then it will pass from your dust precipitator. Now a dust precipitator is used to remove a dust particle. For that, a scrubber is there which helps us to remove the dust particles. After that, the gas will pass from your drying tower. Then in drying tower, it will help us to remove the moisture from your gases. After that, it will pass for your arsenic purifier container, which is used to remove the impurities from As2O3. Then gas will pass to your testing box. Now testing box is used to check whether the impurities are totally removed from gases or not. After that, the purified gas will preheated at 2673 Kelvin at preheater. Then the gas will pass to the catalytic container where the SO2 will oxide to SO3. After that, at the top of the observation tower, there is the consideration of H2SO4. Okay, so consideration of H2SO4 will shower, which will result the SO3 will move up and it will dissolve with sulfuric acid, which will result in H2S2O7. Okay, after that it is diluted with water to give us H2SO4. So this is the only process for the manufacturing of H2SO4. Here one scrubber